All right, we are recording, so this is part 2.
When was the last time we made a clip?
It was...
You were just doing this stuff.
I know, but I don't remember, actually. We didn't make one yesterday.
No.
We made it at Destin. Because we went from... Did we go from
hotel.
Destin to Pensacola?
To here.
Damn.
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah.
Damn, that seems like
Because
forever.
I said that at some point. I was like, this is what it feels for, like, those old white dude cyclists that go from hotel to hotel. And they're like, oh, I do 150 miles a day. I'm like, yeah, that's because you don't camp.
Roasting.
You're not even carrying a lot of gear. You just go to hotel to hotel. It's
Plus,
easy.
you're ugly. Did we really go from Destin?
Yes,
I'm
positive.
I'm double
we woke
checking.
up that morning because I was talking about getting an Uber that night. Remember?
Yeah, we did. It's true. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Allie did a little bit of math today.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, we walked 334.61 miles in Florida, and we biked 626.51 miles.
And this
coming
includes...
to a grand total of 626.51.
We did the Florida Trail from Key West in 961.12 miles.
Damn. The Florida Trail proper is like 1,200 miles.
Mm-hmm.
How did we skip? I guess we stayed on the coast.
We also just went in much straighter lines.
And we skipped 200 miles.
That's
which
true,
would
too.
make sense, because...
Yeah, 200
Yeah.
miles would be close to the
Yeah.
actual length, yeah. But yeah, man, officially done. And,
Last day was the worst day,
well, for you.
in my opinion.
Yeah, it's been a steady nosedive since, I think, leaving Tallahassee.
Well,
'Cause it
the
got
first
really
couple days
cold.
were nice. Yeah, it was cold.
And
but,
there was a
like,
headwind.
it was just terrible, and we hated it.
But let's
I thought
go.
it was fine. No, the roads were good. Like, it was cool to be on the coast, nice views.
Yeah.
But as soon as we hit, like, Pensacola Beach...
Well, before that. Way
Before
before that.
Well-
Basically all day yesterday.
Oh, well,
On
just
98.
in general.
Yeah. Okay.
But as soon as we hit Pensacola Beach, which was like 3 days ago, it's all been terrible.
What do you mean by Pensacola Beach?
Or Panama City.
Oh,
Beach,
okay.
Whatever.
Gotcha.
The tourist area.
Just making sure.
Yeah. No, we never went to Pensacola Beach.
Not yet. But, yeah, so Destin, we got up yesterday.
That Waffle House for
That's
breakfast.
insane. I cannot believe that was yesterday.
Well,
It had
yeah,
to have
it
been.
was.
Yeah, I mean, according
Yeah.
to that, it was, yeah.
just the fact that we can't even remember what happened
I
yesterday
mean-
morning is proof that it was an insane day.
My
And
mind,
it was.
my mind and body feel like that was days ago.
Yeah.
My body is sore. My
Because
mind
it was
is
like
foggy.
a fucking, like, saga. The entirety of yesterday. So many different sections. And, like, your mind was occupied all the time.
We didn't even
Mine
get
was,
started yesterday until
Like 10, yeah. And it was supposed to be raining. And we started out and it wasn't raining. It was a little chilly, which was fine, but it wasn't raining. So we were like, great. And I know I had mentioned at some point that I was like, oh, I'm going to get an Uber. I hate this. I don't feel safe. And I was like, well, I woke up the next morning. I was like, I don't really want to do that, especially because it's like $150. And also, there are no cars available. So
That was another theme of the day.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'll at least go to 10, Highway 10, which is like the interstate that goes into Pensacola. And
Mhm.
it'll be cheaper and I'll get to bike at least like 40 miles.
Mm-hmm.
And
But-
I don't really remember leading
I
up to
know.
that point.
It's a shame because yesterday was an action-packed day.
Mhm.
It was just a battle against traffic elements, and that's about it.
Lack of a shoulder.
Well, yeah.
ever.
There was a bike lane, I think, pretty much the entire way, but
Yeah,
it was a
it was
pathetic.
terrible.
It was a pathetic bike lane.
Yeah.
And now that I'm trying to recapitulate everything that happened, I do remember I littered yesterday. I dropped the emergency Advil that I've been
Oops.
keeping, and I was like, "Dang, I can't even escape it." Humans are flawed, and I'm no different. This wine is making me cold.
Okay, get your coat.
I'm trying. You've been using it as a footrest all day.
Not a foot rest, a foot warmer.
A footbox. Got my coat. Listen. Expert zip. pro.
But yeah, don't really remember much.
Well, let me do
in
it
the
then.
morning.
We don't need to keep saying
Because
that.
we got to 10.
Yeah, we did get
stopped
to
at a
10.
gas station.
We stopped before then too, I think.
We stopped at... Oh, we were on the trail a little bit.
We were on the trail for a
Yesterday.
bit. Okay, so
Another road walk, of
here's how it went. Okay. I remember now. So we took 98 west, and 98 was terrible. The traffic was really bad. The bike lane was very it's the standard bike lane's width, but there was like overgrowth and like sand and stuff, so we had to you couldn't use the whole lane.
In it.
Yeah,
it was practically half in traffic the whole time.
and it was a 2-lane road. It was like a divided highway, 98, and people, even though there were 2 lanes, they would not get over to give us more room.
And the fucking speed limit was 55 or 65 miles an hour
between
where
the
we
spots.
were.
Yeah,
so
it was bad.
God, it was
I mean,
so bad.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again, that I did the majority of my biking in my life in Atlanta, which is known for having really bad traffic and stuff. And there was a large period, maybe a couple years or so, where my primary bike was a fixed gear bike with no brakes. So I had to be very, I don't know. I feel like I know where to look, and I kind of understand traffic patterns a little bit, intuitively.
Yeah.
So, I know how to, I'm just saying.
I know.
So it didn't really bother me, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It was bad, and it's not, a route that I would want to do again. Okay, I think it was mine.
But you don't have, the emotional and mental anguish of fearing for your life every pedal that you take and as you're watching your partner bike out into the lane of traffic, it's oh my god, this might be it. And that's all I can... Maybe it's because of my inexperience. I don't really think that's true. I just think we're very different in our mindsets about what is actually dangerous.
That's definitely
and
true.
how you handle danger.
I mean, the best example of that is that you want to go skydiving and I do not. And so I think you feel about biking in traffic like that as I do, in terms of how dangerous and risky it is.
Which is helpful because we can understand each other in that maybe. And try to have more compassion for the other person when they're struggling.
I think that I do. I think that
I know, you're great. It's fine.
I try to do as much as I can, knowing that we have to keep going. And yesterday, that was really our only option, unless we really, really stretched ourselves and our abilities to figure out another way.
And if we worked together to come up with a plan, call a taxi or something, which you weren't willing to do. And that's fine, I understand.
Well, I didn't want to.
But I was desperately trying to change your mind.
There. You weren't doing a good job.
But we got to the I-10 bridge.
No, we were going way too fast. We first went to the Dollar General off of 98.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where we decided to get off 98, because we were going to have to go around the bridge closure of the Apalachicola Bridge, which 98 takes to...
No, Pensacola Bay Bridge.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
The Pensacola Bay Bridge, yeah. Apalachicola, I keep thinking. Every time, because that's a thing for my parents. Apalachicola is where my uncle has stuff or something like that. But yeah, so we went to Goodwill, or Dollar General, and
Same thing.
kind of, yeah, for homeless people and hikers alike. And we saw that this road 87 would go north off of 98, and I was like, we got to try this road.
And it would connect to I-10 and 90, which is the alternate
we had to go up there
detour
anyway.
That we had to take either way. So we're like, why not just do it early? Maybe the road will be better. Guess what? It wasn't.
Yeah, it was,
turned into a high-speed 4-lane divided highway.
That was a 65 mile an hour road,
but there was a fucking bike lane the entire way.
Yeah, it was a little bit better in that respect, but still, people, it's just so rude.
The only way you could realize it was a bike lane was when there was a right turn lane, and there would be the dotted lines showing and a little bike symbol proving that there actually wasn't. There were so many cops that passed us, and I was almost positive that one of them were going to pull us over and be like, you can't be on this highway.
Yeah.
But it was a bike lane, and we didn't get stopped at all, so we just kept biking.
Yeah, I mean, I think interstates are really the only roads that you're not allowed to ride on. We took 87, and we did get to the 10 finally. And I had kind of played around with the idea of just jumping on the 10 and then going over to Pensacola. If Allie had gotten an Uber from there, which was kind of the plan.
Which was my plan.
Yeah.
We got there, You took off my rear light, put it on your bike, because that was our one compromise. You had to use my rear light, which you don't think mattered at all.
I really don't, but...
But it's super bright, and I feel like it's very helpful. It's, like, flashy, and if nothing else, at least they'd see you.
It doesn't hurt, but I just don't feel like it does that much. I feel like my whole thing is if someone is paying so little attention that they're going to hit you, then I just don't know if a light is going to be the deciding factor as to whether or not... I mean, I think it doesn't hurt at all.
We see so many people driving past with their phones in their hands,
pretty much
up in a turning lane that we're crossing,
me so mad
and they're just like on their phone or like looking the other way.
Yeah,
they don't look.
They're just not used to it. I mean, not enough people in this country, participate in physical activity for that to be something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone...
I feel like we need to give like a layout of like how to drive. For the people that are listening, how to drive when you know there's cyclists on the road, or even if you don't know there's cyclists on the road, there could be.
I mean, honestly,
just fucking put your phone down, watch where you're going, don't creep out into lanes, get over if you have the opportunity when you see a cyclist, give us like 7 feet on the left if you can, and if you can't, slow down and wait until you can get over. It's really not that big of a deal. It's literally one press of your fucking fat ass foot on your little brake pedal. Like, slow down, Jesus. We see so many dead animals on the road, too. We saw an otter. Did you see that otter?
I did. That was sad.
Otters, cats, dogs.
That otter looked like he got hit and then wasn't dead and then went like 3 feet over and then died, it was sad.
Terrible.
Yeah, I think that was
slow down.
Yeah, I think that was the second otter we've seen that was dead.
Yeah.
We saw one that
and
wasn't.
Those are really intelligent animals. Like, it's not their fault that they get hit. They're not like deer
where
they run towards your
Most
car.
otters have driver's licenses. I mean, they know what a car is.
But we had a lot of shit to say about motorists yesterday.
Yeah, because the conditions.
That's all it was yesterday.
It was low visibility. It was for us. We were in the rain. We were in the cold, the wind. We did not have a tailwind like we did the day before, so we weren't able to do like when we went to Destin.
Yeah.
We were going like 20 plus mile an hour
that was a strong day.
That was awesome. That felt really good. I mean, honestly, if I had been by myself, I would have just gone all the way to Pensacola just to get it over with.
Yeah.
Because that would have been a good day to do it too, because it was actually warm.
Yeah, and we did know that the rain was coming, so we weren't surprised when we were biking in it for a fair amount yesterday. But I have to say, it was not that bad. It was not as bad as when we went to Tallahassee.
No.
It was not pouring.
That was raining the entire time.
Yeah, and it was like misting, kind of. And it was on and off. I would say more off than on.
Definitely.
So
there were a couple of periods where I was like, damn, this might get bad.
But it never did.
Not really. So, no, just very briefly.
Thanks, Mother Nature.
For working with us.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had decided to push 2 bigger days in order to get to the Airbnb a day sooner than we had actually planned to. So
just to get it over with.
Yeah, and also to get out of the bad weather.
Yeah, yeah.
We both have. It's the same thing, but you and I see it differently. But yeah, so we were at the 10. We were at a gas station. We were trying to figure out if Allie could get something.
I had already had my mind made up. I was like, I'm doing this, and I'll meet you there. It's like the only time that I have allowed myself to technically cheat, and I didn't care. So I was like, I'm positive. Like, we switched the light over, I took off my helmet, I was about to change my clothes, I checked the Uber and it said no cars available. And I tried and nothing worked. And at that point I was kind of okay with it, because I was like, well, it kind of would be special, I guess, to complete the adventure in its entirety. Not that I cared, but just to be with you and just to have the Strava data, I guess.
Yeah.
There was no other reasons that I was excited. I was not excited to keep going, but I was okay with it. But that tolerance went rock bottom as we continued on.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to me, I just consider, I think my overall attitude, starting from the New York trip and then moving on to everything I've done since then, which that was really a pivotal point in my life, I just this is what I've scheduled for the day, and I don't have any other plans, so I really don't care how long it takes or how many miles I have to go or what the weather's like.
Yeah.
Hopefully everything will get better over the course of the day, and that's not always the case.
But if it doesn't, though, you're not bothered. I don't think you have, the emotional...
No.
Fluctuation.
I just get mad, but...
Well, I do too, but that comes out in, I don't know. It's also the way I deal with fear. And, I don't know, just general unhappiness.
I feel like my anger is more productive, like in a way that like it propels me forward.
Yeah.
Whereas I think yours is like, why you don't want to make yourself angry.
Yeah.
You're like I don't want to do this. I'm getting mad.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well,
and
everything
like
makes me mad.
the only thing that I can do is to stop.
Yeah.
To like solve that problem. That's the only option in my mind.
In my mind, it's like the only option is to keep going.
Yeah.
Because eventually you'll get to your beer and your food and your Airbnb.
Yeah.
So we had switched over the day for the Airbnb to get there a day earlier, which was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And our host has actually been very accommodating to all of our requests so far. And we'll get to the second request that we asked him to make for us in a minute. But yeah, so we jumped on.
I was going to make a joke, but I probably shouldn't.
Is it racist? Oh.
It's not racist. Who do you think I am? A Republican?
Roasted.
A Trump supporter?
Roast. Well, careful.
I don't care. It's true.
Yeah, no, it's true. But yeah, so we took 87 all the way up to 90 after Allie realized that she wasn't going to be able to get her little treat.
Yeah. Which I was okay with because, again, we were like, oh, it's going to get better.
Yeah, because
after I-10, everyone's going to be getting on I-10 and going to Pensacola or east, so, like, the traffic's going to die out.
But there was a bike lane for about a mile and a half, maybe. Like an actual, like, separated bike. It looked like an old, like, railroad.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, brick.
It was like an old road.
It was like an old road.
It had the yellow lines on it.
It was weird. I'm not sure what it was
yeah.
for. It was definitely something that was very old, though.
Mm-hmm. It was a little treat, though.
Very little. It's so little it's
like
almost
2
forgettable. Yeah. And so we pressed on, and I don't remember too much between that path and then we saw there was a point where we had stopped for peeing or something like that, and you were like, I'd like to take one more break, eat some food in the next like 5 miles or something, and then we happened to come upon this like fishing pier, like recreational area, and you did.
Before that, we started going through all of those like little towns with like insane amounts of traffic, where the biker gang was. It was like raining. I had mentioned that to you at some point. I was like, "Did you see all those homeless guys on bikes back there?" And you're like, "Yeah."
Oh.
So we started going through those for a while. It was just like so many stoplights and just like fast food restaurants, shops, but like kind of shitty areas.
And that's what we were sort of lamenting too about these kind of trips. Is just like we were hoping that the coastal highway would be really cool, but it just turns out. I mean, we love McDonald's breakfasts, but
it's a hub for tourists.
Yeah, well, the whole country is though. I mean, like anywhere that's supposed to be cool. It's been
case in point, national parks.
Yeah,
like
it's all been commercialized.
Natural areas, yeah.
Yeah, it's a commodity now instead of like being something that's truly special.
Mm-hmm.
It's just been Americanized, and like I don't know. We've been to so many cities, and if there's one thing you can say about every big city in the world, or in the United States anyway, is that they're exactly the same. Like, it's hard to imagine going to any city and being
surprised, and like being delighted.
Yeah, like this is so unique. Like even like Portland and Seattle and stuff. I mean, I can't think of, aside from the nature that surrounds them and the unique weather patterns that they get. There's really nothing individualistic about those cities.
It's the same chain restaurants. It's the same shops. It's the same people that don't know how to drive their cars.
Yeah,
and
we should go do something abroad. We should do a tour de France.
Or do like a wilderness bike packing.
Yeah. Like
the CDT or something, where it's just like towns once a week, not towns every day, every night. Like you have a secure camping spot every night, and like you're out in nature. Which is what the AT was for us, and that was so beautiful and special in its own way. And the bike ride was too, but I think that's because we went out west where there's just less people.
Yeah.
The East Coast is like overrun, overpopulated, overcommercialized. It's just
especially Florida in the winter. I mean,
that's the thing too.
Yeah, this is the place to be. We've seen an alarming amount of New York license plates, definitely, close rivaling the native Floridians who we've seen driving.
New York and Illinois, I feel like have been the top, or Indiana or something.
Yeah, but all those cold ass states.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snowbirds coming down here for the winter. Old ass people that don't wear their glasses when they drive.
Yeah, that's the scary thing too. All the old people. Because they just, it's It just takes one mistake, your hearing aid battery is low, you don't hear something, your eyes, your I don't know, your glasses,
eyes fail because you're so old and crusty.
Cataracts are acting up. So anyway, we jumped on to 90, and we were at that fishing pier. Allie had one more desperate attempt. We both had sort of a come to Jesus moment where she was like trying really hard to get out.
I was like, do this for me.
And I was like,
this is a relationship. It's like a give and take. You have to compromise. I just wanted you to change your mind.
I know. And the compromise was for me just to not do what I wanted to do at all. It wasn't a compromise. It was like a totalitarian rule.
It's not all that, because I was not only concerned about my safety, I was concerned about yours too. So I knew if I got in an Uber or taxi by myself, all I would be doing is worrying about you for the next 2 hours, however long it took for you to get here. And I don't want that mental anguish either. It's an equal thing. So it was either you have to come with me or I can't do it. So I was just desperately pleading with you to come with me,
but no one picked up. There were no cars available still.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
But it was fine. It all worked out. But in the moment, I was not very happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't mad at you. I was just mad at the circumstance.
No, I didn't
you
think
didn't
so.
do anything wrong. And I wasn't frustrated with you. It was the circumstances and
Yeah, I just thought it was strange to be 13 miles away from our Airbnb, and then you're like, let's just not do it. And I'm like, 13 miles though. I mean, that's we've already done 57.
And it was the same 13 miles that we had been doing all day, which was horrendous, terrifying traffic.
And then it was
getting dark.
And
I was just looking for a way out.
Yeah.
And the rain picked up, and I was like, man, this is just getting worse and worse.
Mm-hmm.
But we made it.
We did. We went to a gas station, couple actually. Got some beers, ordered some. We got to the Airbnb, and ordered some food in
successfully, alive.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't.
Thank the universe, because I didn't actually think it was going to happen.
I mean, I don't like.
All I could see was the worst case scenario, which is kind of outlandish and
I mean, it's definitely possible, but
it is.
I mean, cars are dangerous no matter what you're doing. If you're driving them, if you're traveling alongside them as a pedestrian or as a cyclist, I mean, it's just it is a gamble, and it's because humans are flawed and people make mistakes.
Yeah.
And that's why when people do creep into we went through so many little areas where people would be coming up to a stop sign, and they would continue to progress toward us. And I'm just what the fuck are you doing? Yeah,
and
don't do that.
Crosswalks.
Yeah.
They would
inside
stop
the crosswalk
before because they would see us.
Yeah.
And then they would look back and forth. They're sitting at a red light. And they're going straight.
Yeah.
And they start creeping up when we're crossing the crosswalk. I'm like, what are you doing? Do you even have eyeballs in your head? Are you just so
it's what they would
inconsiderate and
yeah, they're on automatic mode. Driving is not because driving is so mindless. You can do other things while you drive.
Yeah.
And so I think people just do stuff, and I think you and I both probably do it too when we're driving.
Yeah.
It's just you would just automatically do things because you can take rights on reds unless otherwise posted, and you can do all these things where you're sort of just trying to get a little bit ahead of your stopped situation,
because it's going to get you to your destination so much faster, and it's definitely worth the potential risk of pedestrians. Go for it.
Well, everyone
is
is
idiotic. It makes me so mad.
Everyone wants to get where they're going for sure, and that was the thing too.
And that's all they care about is themselves.
Well,
their car. So.
Yeah, I mean, but it's I feel ignorance is a big part of it too, because it's not even I don't even think they're trying to be malicious, but they just don't understand because they
they need to understand the consequences of their actions. I was kind of hoping to, not hoping, but I was if we're clipped by one of these people that are pulling out, they're gonna pay for it.
Yeah.
They're not gonna get away from this and just think that it was our mistake for being pedestrians.
Well, which
is what they all think anyways. We're in the way.
Well, I was listening to Jake Cook's I Bleed Pop, Seal Pup commentary album today. And, he was hit by a car a lot of years ago. Probably.
On a bike.
Yeah, on a bike.
Right?
Yeah. And the most bitter irony of that whole situation is that he was actually... He was sued, yeah, for the damage.
By the insurance.
Yeah, for $6,000.
That's absurd. That's so, oh my god.
It's so low. It's so
Yeah.
like unhuman and like
Disgusting.
discompassionate and yeah, just
And just proves like how much agency cyclists have on the road, which is none. And that's all I think about all the time when we're on roads like that. So I think my little freak out was justified.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad for it
You
because
shouldn't.
it was terrible.
I never try to make you feel
You
bad about
don't.
the way
It's
you're
not
feeling.
you.
I know.
It's not you at all. You're great. But like, oh my god.
Oh my god.
You're lucky this didn't break.
I know, I'm kind of surprised. Sorry, y'all. Brief intermission.
But yeah, these are the conversations that we were having, like, every time we stopped and actually talked to each other, because the traffic was just unbelievable, and we had been suffering from it, like, 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
So it was a lot, and that was the pinnacle, the climax, the last day.
Yeah.
And it didn't get any better until we turned onto the road to get to our Airbnb, which
That's
was
true.
like 0.3 miles away.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was a long day. We did 70 miles,
Mhm.
which is huge.
It was a big day.
Because we did an 83 yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And we're still on these mountain bikes that aren't meant for roads necessarily.
Definitely not made for distance.
Loaded with gear.
Mhm.
And granted, there was no hills. I mean, there were
But
little
there were
hills.
some, yeah.
We had like 1,000 feet of elevation yesterday, I
Over
think.
70 miles isn't bad, though.
Yeah. But, yeah, not the best conditions.
No. This is tasty.
But I also thought it was very funny and ironic that we were on the Florida Trail
A couple times, yeah.
a couple times, and it was all on roads.
Mhm.
So even if we were in dangerous traffic, at least we're not hiking because we would not be anywhere near this point.
No, we'd be somewhere
And-
with wet feet.
And the shittiness really continues. Like,
Mhm.
if there's roadblocks that close to the end, that means the entire trail is like that.
Mhm.
And it's either swamp or road. And that's not the type of trail we want to be hiking. So
No, and you
this was a
think-
good call.
So, like, we've been out here since December 30th. We did double the distance on bikes since getting the bikes, which was only 2 weeks ago. So it took us 2 weeks to go 300 miles, and then it took us 2 more weeks to go 600 plus.
Yeah.
And we were able to shorten it so much by, being able to choose our route in a different way
Mhm.
and be able to get off of the sand roads that we learned were terrible. The very brief times where we
The
actually,
trail.
when we were on trail, like it was
Yeah.
just like, dude, this trail sucks. Like,
Yeah.
no matter how you slice it, and that's why we love watching Matt's videos. Matt Hinks, shout out to Matt, and another shout out to Treehouse for. He's just
Oh my God.
one of our friends from Damascus is doing the Mountains to Sea Trail, I think.
Yeah.
The MST.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a lot of road walking coming up, so he bought a pair of rollerblades, which was an option that we had discussed.
Which I'm so glad we didn't do because
With a pack, that would be hard. If you
and
fell,
we would probably still be doing like 30 miles a day, maybe.
I don't know, man. You can
Your
go
feet
fast.
would get tired. It would be the same like physical experience of hiking, but just a little tiny bit faster. And like
Yeah.
imagine all those sand patches we went over
Yeah.
on the. And what did we do? Bike on the bike or rollerblade on the bike lane?
For miles
No.
and miles and miles. Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Our quads would be huge. Yeah, I mean, with
I don't
fully
even know
loaded
how to
pack.
rollerblade.
Do you not?
No,
No,
I
well,
roller skate like the quads.
Oh, it's
but
the same thing.
I don't really think
It's
it
the
is. I think
same
it's more
motion.
similar to ice skating, in which I've almost broken my ankle several times when I was ice skating. So
Several times you almost
I'm
broke your
glad-
ankle?
Yeah, because we have winter
Never
in the
heard of it.
Northeast.
Yeah. But yeah, we got here. We ate. We went to sleep pretty early.
Yeah.
I don't remember what time it was. 9
It's like
something.
10.
Yeah, it was early 10 though.
But we are in Central Time.
That's
so
true.
That was actually like 11
Mhm.
or whatever.
And around 1 a.m. last night, I guess another, like this house that we're in like the guest suite. It's very, very small, but better than the place that we were in Orlando.
Oh, so much
Immeasurably.
better.
But these dudes came back from the bar on a Friday night, and
So loud.
they were so loud, just talking very loudly and like slamming
Bro,
doors.
she wanted to come home with you.
Dude, are you gay? Just, I don't know what their deal was.
No. I don't even know if they live here or if they're like, if it's another Airbnb. I kind of feel like they probably live here, like it's a college
They might.
rental or something.
They could
But
probably
it's
hear
at
us,
least
too.
like 3-4 dudes, bro dudes that live here.
Mhm.
Pretty annoying. But yeah, they were talking really loud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then they started asking for the code for the door.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh shit, they're coming in here.
I was terrified that they were going to try to come into our room because we had changed our date of when we were going to check in. And so I was thinking that they might have actually had this, like the guy might have accidentally double booked the room. And then, so we're about to have like 3 or 4 drunk dudes coming in here and we're like sleeping in the bed, like
half naked.
Some of us, both of us. But yeah, my sleep last night was pretty restless for the rest of the night after that. But I was shocked that it was already 1 a.m. by that point because we'd been in bed. When I woke up, I was like, it felt like it had only been like 30 minutes that I'd been asleep, but I was so tired.
Yeah. We've put in some long days.
We have. I can feel, I feel it. Mm-hmm. For sure. It's kind of like being hungover in a way.
Yeah. And the amounts of food that we eat too is pretty incredible. Because we have not hiker hunger, but
biker
just
hunger.
Long distance hiker hunger.
Yeah, I mean, we're burning like... I feel like my body has responded to biking more so than the hiking that we were doing. I really didn't feel much of like a exertion or an exercise from the hiking that we were doing. Mm-hmm. But for sure... cardiovascularly and just in terms of like
even
sweat.
Like muscularly.
Yeah, I wasn't really sore. I was sore in like a painful way from carrying my backpack.
Like odd places in your foot really hurt or like your calf and you just thought it was like injuries that were going to make themselves worse.
It felt like injuries whereas the bike feels like you're getting stronger but that's a painful process.
Yeah, it's just
like
sore.
Yeah.
Because you're working out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So God bless all you people that are still going on foot.
Man.
Especially in Florida.
No envy though.
Unbelievable.
But yeah, we went to McDonald's this morning and we're like surrounded by homeless people and Allie was really not digging that.
Mind you, we had to bike.
We did have to bike, yeah.
It was only 2 miles, but like we had to get on the same fucking roads that were terrible traffic.
Yeah.
And we took some back ways, which was fine, but then we get to McDonald's. We can't place an order in the drive-thru, so we have to go up to the window and fuck up the whole line that's waiting behind us, which
we did have to go through the drive-thru. Yeah, we couldn't go. Couldn't go inside, so we had to with our bikes go through the drive-thru. Which was my
first experience doing it because you always do it.
I've done it so many times. I've done it at least 3 or 4 times, going through, walking through the drive-thru. So
and then we were sitting there, and there was just a bunch of homeless people that were coming up to us and asking us things and like talking to us. We got blessed by this guy who was singing some songs and just like, you might die of COVID, but at least you're going to heaven. I can't tell you how many homeless people, or just like people in general, think that I'm your wife.
Yeah.
And that's what they refer to me as. They don't say, like, this other, like, all-star athlete who's doing this thing with you. They say, your wife. It's always you. It's always directed at you, and I'm just the side piece, which is... like classic misogyny in America.
It's just old school people. Like it's
it's fine. It doesn't bother me, but it's interesting to point out.
I think it's funny. Yeah.
That I'm your wife. Your wife, Amy. That's what Brother Dave called me.
Kenneth and Amy. You wouldn't be the first Amy Pereiro. No, you would be, but I think Zach's wife's name's Amy. So you could be an Amy Fitzpatrick. Anyway. Had breakfast, went to Publix to get some stuff for dinner and stuff like that afterwards, and then we kind of split up after that. I went back to the Airbnb with you to put all the stuff up and go through my stuff and things like that, but
I was done biking
and I wanted to go
reasons.
out. I wanted to go out.
And I think it's good that we did.
Yeah, I think so too. I think we both enjoyed ourselves, and neither one of us felt pressured to do anything we didn't want to do.
I mean, we're done. Mm-hmm. There's no mileage we need to make. There's no destination we need to get to. So I was ready to chill hardcore. And I did. Yeah. And then you did your thing. So
I did an 11-mile bike ride. I went to 3 bike shops.
And you went to the bridge that you thought we were going to be able to cross.
Yeah. The Pensacola Bay Bridge is definitely closed for sure. That would have been.
I saw your picture of the gate. Yeah. It was crazy. The whole thing is barricaded off.
There's fences everywhere. Yeah, there's cranes. There were like 1 million trucks that were parked on the bridge for the workers, I guess. And so the idea that I could walk across it, or not walk, but bike across it, unnoticed or undisturbed is definitely something that would not have happened.
Yeah.
I would have been told to turn around very quickly. It would have been like trying to get on the levees back in Okeechobee area.
Yeah. Thankfully, I didn't think that was a good idea to start out with, so I'm glad that you didn't try to do that either way. Even though everything worked out the way it did, like, it's fine.
It worked out for the best. But yeah, came back here, and I pretty much just worked on my phone for like the last 3.5 hours. Posted new episodes and making album art, all that kind of stuff, and now here we are, chilling, drinking wine, beers. We got some shitty frozen foods that hopefully won't taste as bad as they look.
Yep.
And so another thing is we also tried to figure out how we're going to get home.
Oh yeah.
And so
a new adventure.
Yes, spent a lot of time on my phone trying to figure out if we could get any rental cars.
Enterprise is the worst.
Enterprise is the worst.
And whatever other car rental agencies
Avis,
are out there.
Budget
Hertz.
Rental. Yeah, Hertz was bad.
Like, they're just closed all the time, and they have no cars available.
Yeah, that was the thing that we were running into. And my dad texted me several times about the whole thing, and he was like, well, why don't you just try to go to the airport? And I just don't want to do that. It's like 6 miles away, which isn't bad, but I don't want to go 45 minutes out to go
That would be so much more expensive and so much more logistics, like shipping the bike. How do you ship a bike?
Shipping bike? No, he's talking about going to the airport to get the car rental.
Oh,
because they're probably
okay.
still open on the weekends.
Yeah.
Since they're airports.
They are, but like no.
Yeah, no, for sure. We wanted to do something easy that would work, and U-Haul ended up being the easiest thing that would work. We're gonna get a U-Haul tomorrow at I think 10:30 or something like that, and that's the other thing that the Airbnb host was able to accommodate for us. So we're gonna check out tomorrow.
Yay!
And
we're getting out of Florida.
Yeah, the weather's supposed to be
God.
nice. Yeah, we're gonna go get the U-Haul. It's a 10-foot U-Haul. It's way more than what we need.
We're gonna put 2 bikes in the back, and that's it.
But hey, if there's fucking hikers that need to go anywhere, we can give them any ride to anywhere they
Jump
want.
in the back of our U-Haul.
Yeah,
problem.
we can put like 30 people in the back of that.
We can smuggle immigrants from Cuba.
So tomorrow our plan is to go pick up that U-Haul, check out of here, go to Fort Pickens, do a 20 mile out and back, or 20 mile total round trip.
To get to the official Florida Trail Northern Terminus.
And what a journey
for
it's been.
An obligatory picture.
Yeah.
Because we did the Florida Trail.
Did it. So we're not really done yet.
No.
In a certain sense.
But the rest is just like, the stress is over, I feel like. We have everything figured out, and we don't have to bike on 90 or 98 anymore. We get to go to a state park and take a nice little leisurely bike ride.
Yeah.
And then get in the car and get the fuck out of Florida.
I mean, logically speaking, if the bridge is out, and if it's a state park, it seems like the traffic is going to be very minimal.
Yeah.
But
it's Super Bowl Sunday, so
True.
Nobody's going to be outside. They're all going to be inside, sitting on their couch, eating their wings, watching TV. We love you guys.
Thanks for staying off the road. But yeah, we'll be in Lilburn tomorrow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
But it's great. I'm so glad this has come to a conclusion, because it's been such a journey. And I'm over it, man. I love long distance adventures. I love the accomplishment. I love the exercise. But with the biking we've done recently, I'm at my max of like mental anguish that I go through all the time.
Yeah.
And just like the logistics, I said several times, I'm tired of like doing sketchy shit. Like camping in illegal places, biking on dangerous roads, eating bad food all the time.
Yeah.
That is fine, because like we're athletes and we're metabolizing that, but I'm excited to get to a point in life where we can like really enjoy ourselves and like eat good food and just like be nourished by the earth, be away from people that suck, and be away from cities.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that all works out, but this is over, so that's good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, tomorrow it's just it's a victory lap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice.
Mm-hmm. And especially because we did have the Airbnb for tomorrow night, and we kind of didn't have any plans for today and tomorrow. So this Airbnb was a little too small to spend 2 days inside.
Yeah, for sure. It's a nice recuperation.
And watch TV.
Watch the news. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
but
man.
I need to call my parents. Talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a complete clip.
Yeah.
So, from our mouths to your ears, Florida Trail's terrible, but you can get through it if you cheat.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's whatever. This feels like a very minor, like, adventure.
Yeah, it is,
done.
but it's felt major.
Yeah. That's what Compton said. I texted him earlier, and he was like, something about, like, no pain, no gain, and you went through a lot of pain to get here. And I was like, maybe not physical, but, like, mentally and emotionally, for sure.
It's the sketchiest, worst long trail we've ever done.
Yeah. I think it's because of the state that we're in.
Yeah.
Florida is notorious for crazy people, crazy situations,
Mm-hmm.
and just, like, man, to be here in January when everyone else is here, too.
Mm-hmm.
It's been such a trip.
And so crazy, too, that the weather is the way it is. I mean,
Yeah,
we
it's
were
so cold.
Yeah, we were warm, and we were getting sunburnt for the majority of this trip, like 80% of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the last 20 has just been so cold, so rainy, so shitty.
Yeah.
It's the nor'easter. We're just getting, obviously in Florida, it's not cold enough to snow, but we're getting we're getting the effects of everything else that people in Pennsylvania and any state north of the Mason-Dixon is like covered in snow.
3 feet plus.
Yeah, man, it's
I'm
crazy.
excited.
Well, that's a little surprise for the future. But anyway, that's it.
That's it.
So we'll just
Peace out, Florida Trail.
Yeah,
Never
man.
coming back here ever.
for a long trail or for any kind of
Anything
athletic.
aside from vacation
Yeah.
that has been planned by someone else. Or, like, visiting the natural springs, because they're beautiful.
We like
and they're
those.
really unique and awesome.
Yeah.
And they have nice campgrounds where there's not too many people.
Juniper Springs was great.
Yeah.
That was a good night.
Yeah. There's so many more like that, too. I would love to go to Wakulla Springs,
Mm-hmm.
just because it's such a landmark.
Mm-hmm.
And there's, like, thousands of springs in, like, central northern Florida. So.
We are planning on coming back to Florida or
That's true.
somewhere
Yeah.
wherever Matt is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
After we get our van, we're going to do some trail magic for him and other hikers
And maybe
as
other
well.
hikers.
Yeah.
We could totally see, like, Captain Jack again and that couple that we met.
And Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's Sean?
Sean is the guy who we met at Store 88, or whatever it was called.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. I mean, we can reach out to those people and ask them what they
because
need.
they'll be out here.
Yeah, they definitely will be.
Yeah.
They were only barely past the halfway mark.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, our hearts break for them. But man, some of the pictures we've seen of people's feet, too. Just
Yeah.
from all the swamp walking and just terrible, terrible, terrible.
Honestly, like, potentially long-term, like, illnesses and injuries to your body.
Yeah.
Like, the pictures of their feet, like, I would be like, damn, go to a doctor.
Yeah,
Like,
well, I mean...
this is not going to turn out okay. It's not going to heal, especially because you're going to continue doing what you're doing. And I know you think you're young and resilient and you're a badass through hiker, but, like, take care of yourself.
Well,
you
was
don't
it...
want to have your feet amputated at 20 years old.
You'd be a road dog. Was it Jeff? Was that the guy we met at the McDonald's? I think it was. Like, he said that, and I identified a lot with what he was saying, but basically, like, he's done a bunch of biking and stuff like that, like, gone cross country, and he's trying to complete, like, a complete loop of the United States, and he said that at one point he was
on the Trans Am race.
he was trying to hit the wall, because he
Yeah.
had done all this stuff and he hadn't really hit that point where he was like, I can't do this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that's similar to what I've been trying to do ever since the New York trip. And I even talk about that in some of the New York trip clips where, like, I remember being at MailChimp and having this guy, his name is Ryan Ridgway, and he was like, at some point he was like, are you going to get to a point where you're just like, why am I doing this to myself? Like, what? I can't keep doing
With, like,
this.
your biking,
Yeah.
cycling?
Well,
career?
specifically with, like, the New York trip.
Oh, yeah.
Before I did it, he was like, you think you're gonna like get to a point where you can't keep going because like it's too hard or whatever.
Yeah.
And I've never gotten to that point. Not on the AT, not on anything I've ever done.
You need to do the CDT, man. Go hike it.
I don't want to hike it.
Well, you should if you want to hit that wall.
I mean, I guess in a certain way, I did hit that wall in Okeechobee because I was like, I'm going to spend $1,000 on these bikes, which I think is nice.
But it doesn't matter because it's anything to get you away from your current situation.
And you know, we had talked about getting mountain bikes before, and so now we have them, and I think that's good.
Yeah.
So in a certain sense,
for a reason.
God works in mysterious ways. But yeah, I still haven't really gotten to that point. I've never cried. I feel like that's
because of your pain and anguish.
Yeah, just like totally like physically and mentally exhausted, and just like you know, in a place where everything is bad. I just always am like,
you're not a real through hiker, man.
Maybe
you haven't experienced that.
Well, I've tried. I mean, I've done the 4-state challenge. I've done 150 plus mile days. I mean, it's just like,
you're strong. I think that's something to take pride in.
Yeah,
and like to potentially propel you towards some like, I don't know, future that you're sponsored for that or like celebrated for that. I think that's something that's a positive thing for sure.
Yeah, it is. It's just interesting that I haven't hit that limit yet.
Yeah.
Because I know if you just keep going, you'll get your reward and you'll get your respite from the difficulty that you have been experiencing.
Which for you is beer.
Yeah, it totally
and
is.
For me, that's like nothing that I would think would make up for like all of the pain I'm going through.
It totally does, though.
I mean, yeah, it does in the moment. Look at us now.
Yeah, I'm a happy.
The Florida Trail.
Yeah, I'm a happy drunk. I mean, as soon as I start to feel that buzz, I'm like, all is well. Everything is good. It's all good.
Yeah, it always is. It's always fine. But fuck you, we're fucking fortunate to be here.
Yeah.
And be alive.
But
to celebrate that, because that's
it.
My like misery that I go through. It's like the what ifs of the tragic accidents that could potentially happen.
Well, it's
to
interesting.
myself or the person that I love. Like it's pretty serious and severe, so it affects a lot.
Well, it's interesting too that you have like spent so much time with my family, who is older than your family, generally speaking. My parents are older than yours. My uncles and everything, my cousins, all of them are like 10, 15 years older than your. So, like, you're having to kind of come face to face with what it's like to be older while you're actually younger, and all the things that come.
Or at least meeting people that are.
Yeah. But it gives you thoughts and like considerations that you wouldn't necessarily have for another 10 or 15 years.
Yeah.
You're having all those things earlier.
Yeah, and about myself and my family members. And yeah, I mean, it's just interesting. I sort of envy you, because when I was 22, I think I was in Japan, and so that was so long ago.
It was long ago. It was
almost a decade.
Yeah, 9 years.
10. Well, 9, because you're 31.
Yep. I don't feel 31, but yeah.
No, because you're an all-star athlete. You don't know the wall.
I haven't met the wall yet. But yeah, I think, who knows what's coming in our future. We have ideas and everything, but I think you ultimately will be an even better person than I am, because you have the experience of someone who is 9 or 10 years older. It's so weird. It's weird to talk about, because it doesn't feel like that's like...
Not at all.
Yeah.
Because we're like best friends.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how old or young either of us are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we love each other and we're happy together, so it's all an adventure. And we're just excited for what's next, and grateful for the things that we have done.
Successfully, safely. Yeah, it's been a ton.
We've only been together for less than 2 years. Our anniversary is coming up of meeting.
Yeah. Approximately
like April 6th or 7th.
Yeah.
On Albert Mountain. So, big milestones. We're going to go all out. Don't even know where we'll be.
Yeah, who knows.
But that's part of the fun. And I love this life that I've had the opportunity to have. And it's kind of always what I've wanted. but like I never knew how it would play out. So it's really exciting for me at my apparently young age, which I don't even feel, because I'm just like going through my life. I don't even know, like,
yeah.
There's no standard that's set for me. There's no pressures to become something or to jump into something that I'm like supposed to be in. Like, I've never had pressures for a career or like this certain lifestyle that my parents have forced me into, which I'm really grateful for. And that's why I love them so much, and I'm so grateful for my upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, at this point I'm just kind of like, I'm excited. I have ideas for what I actually want, and I think they might play out in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Fostering road dogs is something that's high on my list.
Yeah, look it up. Google road dogs.
Road dogs, special needs dogs.
Specifically, it's
like bully breeds.
Yeah, definitely.
Bulldogs, French bulldogs, Boston Terriers, pugs.
Yeah, everything that's brachycephalic.
And then they have special needs, so let alone they're like already medically inclined.
Yeah.
History.
Yeah, these dogs are already born disabled, and then sometimes they're even worse.
Hydrocephaly, cleft lips. I think it might be my life calling to foster special needs dogs. And I think that deserves as much respect and admiration as someone like my mom, who's like working with special needs humans.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's an interesting parallel, yeah.
Yeah, like it's important work, because every fucking living human being on this earth, or every living being on this earth deserves a fair chance at life. And that's why the roadkill breaks my heart so much, because they didn't do anything to deserve that, and it's the cruelty of mankind and their stupid cars and their stupid lifestyles that have destroyed this unique, precious piece of life that's just extinguished in a moment. And like a fucking sea otter, a river otter, whatever that thing was, like they're so smart. They're like puppies of the sea.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything. And like birds, beautiful cardinals and like robins and bluebirds. We've seen so many of them just
cats,
like
dogs,
dead.
Yeah. Just
and honestly, that's like a hesitation for me to go back into van life. Like, we're gonna be one of those people on the road, on those highways, and like accidents are out of your control.
Yeah.
So
but we try hard. We haven't killed anything yet.
I mean, the van can only go like 65.
Yeah.
So I mean, it can do more, but we don't push it to that much.
No.
But
we'll be back in it probably in 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you think that, because I want to get
true.
on the road again.
Yeah, we will.
In a safe way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
There are bright things in our future.
Yeah.
And we're alive to experience it, because we weren't hit on fucking 98 in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And now we'll get out of here, and we'll start a new adventure, which I'm sure you'll want to podcast.
Yeah.
So stay tuned, hit that subscribe button.
Smash that like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's almost time for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Let's get that microwave ready.
Yeah, man. We got some good stuff.
At least it's vegetarian.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All right.
Well, bye for now.
Bye.